You know? Do you want a pillow?
No, I'll take
I need a
the
couple.
blanket.
Oh. Just so you can lean back.
No, so I can cover my feet.
You're gonna send them the link.
Yep.
Do you need to see the HTML or whatever it's called?
No, I don't get
Clear case for this computer so the stickers don't come off. I think I went a little too short.
it. Oh, you're beautiful.
I didn't say I wasn't.
I didn't.
New pigtails. Put my pigtails on.
There's a chill plane, so coming back.
We were gonna do a foot bath tonight anyway, weren't we?
I don't know. I don't care what we do. I just want to watch. So,
And
can we do that?
yeah.
Oh. Already cool people. Just close the baby gate.
Piss and vinegar's about to come out.
There's somebody like that.
Piss and vinegar. Better put the test here.
What's up, Caleb? Hey, Allie. How you all doing?
Okay, I'm back.
So I just got out of the shower. That's why all this is. Can you smell the soap?
Can I smell it? Yeah.
Like you can't smell it. Like
No, I can smell
you all close. Luxury man.
No.
Luxury so nice. So we're just waiting for Shield Arms. What's everyone?
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Hey.
Good to see you.
Oh, absolutely. I was getting everything set up, so.
Oh, it's the neighbor. Probably gonna be one upside by buying a house. We won't have to hear everything.
Yeah, so we got some news. We're gonna be house hunting
Oh, awesome.
in this upcoming year. So
We kind of got hit with our lease agreement. Well, we knew it was coming, but when we got it, they said that just because of the market value, everybody's rent went up like astronomically, and we went up astronomically. So I ended up calling them like, "Is this right?" They're like, "Yep." The market value, everybody went up, and it's completely unaffordable. So we're only going to stay here until next year when it's up again. And then probably by this time next year, we'll have a house. I mean,
Mhm.
it wasn't
Gotcha.
really intended to happen that way, but
Right.
I don't think we're
Is
going to do any better in another apartment.
right.
Right.
Is the house market and everything pretty bad up there and everything expensive?
It's always been expensive.
Yeah.
It's just always expensive. But I guess I don't know, maybe because of the labor shortage, not a lot of people are buying right now. I don't really understand all that.
Well, also it's location too, because like down here in Mississippi, of course, I live in a more small town, more rural and everything. You can go if you went 50 miles, it takes you 50 minutes basically, and everything. There's like no every once in a while you might hit a little traffic because of an accident, but it's like you're just going and there's everything's flow. You got a lot of back roads and stuff like that. So it's more rural. It's not as urban and everything like that. So like around here, you can get 3 bedroom, 2 bath house around 1,700 square feet for um, 175,
Oh my God.
$200,000.
Up here, that's like 200 or 300.
Right. So I lucky. I was lucky. I got this house that I'm in right now. Um, about going on 5 years ago, and it's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and it's about 1,700 square feet. I got it for 125,000, and now it'll praise for about 200. So, but yeah, so the housing market is definitely different in different locations for sure. But that's rural Mississippi, not New Jersey.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right, Tina. We can be neighbors. I know my dad would like that because he's in Louisiana. He'd kill for me to move down there.
Yeah.
But what you carrying today?
I knew you were going to ask that, brother, and everything like that. So, uh, on me right here, I've got the Off Grid Knives Grayscape folder that is 71 layers of VG10 Damascus. So, the handle is Damascus, the blade is Damascus. It's one of their older models that they found a box of them. So they didn't even have boxes for them. They shipped them in their new off grid knives pouches.
Mhm.
So they just had like found a box of old stock in the warehouse. So they sold, but these things, VG10, 71 layer VG10 Damascus lock back off grid knives. So I got that. And of course, I got the Glock 42 on me. So,
What were you
and
saying?
Spyderco, Spyderco dog tag. That's my box cutter. So,
I was just carrying a simple carry today.
Simple EDC.
I just wanna be more simple, and I was carrying a box
a
cutter.
box cutter. All right. I love
Well, I
it.
mean, we went to Smithville today. It's
Yeah,
not. It's about as safe as you can get. Historic Smithville.
yeah. So I don't
Hey,
know.
don't underestimate a box cutter. you
Hey,
know.
if you sharpen them, they can come in handy.
Yep.
and it don't cost that much.
That's right.
So, uh, you want to talk about intimacy?
We need something to break the ice.
Yeah, go roll ahead and everything like that and everything, and I'm gonna join in as can and everything like that. So uh, I'm here. It doesn't bother me. So
And just remember, if you don't want to answer a question,
Who's
don't
that?
have to answer. Yep.
Answer that.
take that.
I got it.
No, take the laptop and go.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Hello?
sorry, y'all. His boss is talking to him.
All right.
Let me just take it in here. So, I was thinking about questions earlier because I wanted to say like I didn't want to ask anything that would make you uncomfortable because it's a weird topic, but it's not really. I mean, it's like it's human.
Right.
It's human life. I mean, most of us do. We're only human. And it's such a taboo subject in general, but for some reason it's even more taboo with the disabled community. And I was so excited to do this. Like you have no idea. I was asking him for weeks, like, can we do like an intimacy episode with Shield? And he was like, I don't know. He might not want to do that. But I kept bugging him to ask you because I'm not even being a pervert. Like I was
Right. Right.
genuinely curious, not to be nosy, but I was curious because we're like the only people that we know in engaging in interabled relations, if you will. And it's different with every disabled person, whether you have an intellectual disability or a physical disability. Well, I guess if you have an intellectual disability, that's kind of bordering on consent issues, but physical disabilities, there's such a broad range. There's such a broad spectrum, especially with cerebral palsy, but also with your situation being a double amputee.
Correct. Yes. And right. No, and it doesn't bother me and everything like that. I modesty in my level is like 0% and everything like that. I just don't care, you know. So I'm open to talk about
Well, see,
just
that's
about
good because
anything.
you're open to like having this big open discussion about it, and it opens the door to other people who really don't know a whole lot about it, or
Right.
maybe maybe this is something they can just come back on later if God forbid they're ever in a situation where something were to happen to them and it was something life changing, which in your case, I mean, it was pretty life changing.
It was because this happened to me. You got to think about it at 41 years old and everything like that. I didn't become a double amputee until 41 years old. So I lived a good portion of my life and everything like that as just, someone with no handicap disability. Now, for the past 3 to 4 years, depending on when you actually want to say it started. I went from having to use a cane because my legs started going downhill to having to use a walker to having to use a wheelchair. And then it got to where just sitting in a wheelchair, anything besides, well, even in a recliner, completely propped up with pillows lining all the way underneath my legs and just staying elevated, I was still in constant pain because there was no relief on it. So, uh, this amputation took place at 41, but I lost my mobility probably around age 38. So,
So basically, this has been. Do you feel like improved, like maybe re-energized even?
Absolutely. No, and people, ask and everything, do you regret? Because I made this decision
Mhm.
because the doctors and everything, they would have just wanted to continue wound care, putting a band-aid on it because it
Yeah.
was never going to heal and everything. So, no, it drastically, I'm not in constant pain like I was. I was literally stuck in a recliner. The only time I got up and got out of the recliner was to go to a doctor's office because I couldn't stand the pain of doing it any other way and everything like that. So, um, I now can get up in my wheelchair. I can go out to eat. I can go. Hey, we're playing. We just went on a Orange Beach trip and everything not long ago for Thanksgiving and my mom's birthday. Her birthday fell on Thanksgiving this year and everything. So we went to Orange Beach. So I went on a vacation for the first time in like 5 years,
Oh,
and we're
wow.
planning another one. So
Good for you.
to
I mean, so with that being said, you're actually more ambulatory now.
I am. I
So,
am able to do and go more. Now, it has its difficulties, it has its challenges.
like
I'm
any
still
disability.
healing. Right. I'm still healing and I'm still dealing with uh b- older blood clots and stuff like that in my leg that we found out also attributed to me losing my legs and everything was blood clot situations as well. The blood clots basically kicked off the venous stasis, which made everything worse. So I've got an appointment after the first of the year with a hematologist to see if
Mhm.
they can't get the blood straightened out where I don't get clots continuously. So.
Hi, Jean and Kayla. So, I guess the first question would be, are you actively looking or on the market for any kind of partner, being a sexual partner or a romantic partner?
Uh, yes, and everything. I do miss that and everything like that. Uh, so you meet one person here or there, but to be honest and everything, I know it goes both ways. I know it goes for guys looking at ladies and ladies looking at guys. But if you look at the opposite sex and you see them in like a wheelchair in a disabled state, you wouldn't believe how many people that's an automatic, no, and
Yep.
going on to the next one.
Yep.
So, it's been tough and everything like that as well. So it's a two-way street. I'm more
Definitely.
mobile, more capable than years, but now it's you go on to the handicap struggle part of it.
Yeah. So, do you maybe live with some fears that any romantic partner that you could end up with, well, see, I don't know how to word this because I don't want to assume anything, but
Go with it.
would there be some level of care necessary for a romantic partner to provide you as far as like caregiving is concerned?
Um, right now at this state, no. Okay. Um, as I get older, probably and everything. Right now and everything, I say no and everything. You need some assistance sometimes, like just if everything in your house is not fully handicap accessible, like shelves, different stuff
Yeah.
like that, but actual care and everything, not really.
Like
And
personal
everything,
care.
right? Not exactly, not personal care and everything. So
Yeah, because
that would not,
a lot of people ask us that, and they
yeah.
ask me, "Oh, there's a lot of people." Our neighbor, actually, she lives right across from us. She's also in a wheelchair. She has cerebral palsy. She's an older woman though, and she straight up asked Mike one day, "Oh, who comes and changes your diapers? who comes to give you a bath? And he's like, well, first of all, I don't wear diapers and I can bathe myself. And she was like
Right.
shocked. And so people look at me and they're like, oh, you must be the caregiver. No, I don't do any caregiving. I mean, I'll hand him something off a shelf, maybe assist
Exactly.
him from getting from point A to point B if his legs feel a little bit weak. So, but you sound like you've been more ambulatory since the amputation.
Correct. No, well, since once I got healed enough from the amputation, yes. Because at first, after the amputation, that healing process of getting the exterior healed, that was a tough process. Just like before the surgery and everything like that, it was constant pain for a while, but that went away because it healed. You know, the
That
other was not
line,
going to heal.
that line, I think, tends to get blurred a little bit when it comes to interable relationships because sometimes you do end up being the caregiver, but also you still need to find that line between caregiver and wife or fiance or whomever.
Exactly. Sure.
Get out of there. So do you think that maybe that's what a woman would automatically think? Like, oh, I might have to take care of him.
I'm assuming that I've never actually, had anyone say that, but it's something that I guess it crosses your mind. And that's one thing I have to catch myself and everything like that and make sure I'm not pre assuming what somebody might be thinking or might not be. It could just be because I'm a bald, ugly, bearded old dude. So,
No.
and the and the wheelchair part doesn't have anything to do with it. So, I just can't assume what they're thinking, but
Coming from, I guess, the other side of the interabled relationship perspective, when I first heard that you were in a wheelchair when you had first told me, immediately my mind went to, oh, you were in an accident. You had a car accident or something. That was like my starter pack knowledge. I didn't even realize that cerebral palsy was, see, and I sound so stupid saying this, but like I never even went to cerebral palsy because you don't really meet a lot of adults that have cerebral palsy. I never had. And I hadn't been in that realm of caretaking yet. I am now because I'm a direct support provider. So I work with that population of people, and there's quite a lot of them that need care. But immediately my mind went to, oh, he was in a car accident. And then he explained it to me, and I won't lie, I mean, I did kind of think, oh, maybe he might need care. But all it took was just a couple conversations with you for me to realize, oh, you're independent. You don't need anything. And it makes me sad because I feel like if somebody would just give you that time and that conversation.
I can
exactly.
go on and on about that.
What?
About
Our first conversations?
no, about my past
Oh,
with other
yeah.
females.
Assuming that they would become caretakers, not wives, basically.
Right.
And I've seen that happen because I worked in elder care for a while, and there would be one spouse and the other spouse was basically taking care of them. And the one in particular, he was homebound, wheelchair bound. He was depressed. It was very sad. And his wife was so resentful of it.
Right.
So bitter and resentful and just angry at him. And I hated it. And I had been with you at this point, at least for a couple years, and I could not fathom being so angry at you for something that's completely out of your control.
That's my worst fear with not even yeah. My worst fear is not having a job and you kind of hold that over my head,
No.
but you don't. So,
That
Right.
might be another thing too. I think that women might think, like, assuming that you don't work.
yeah.
Right, which, for me and everything, I have to admit and everything, with the double amputation and everything like that, I did get on full disability. So right now, I am not currently employed. I'm on disability with the double amputations, but um, they do allow you to make up to so much and everything like that a month along with it. So I am looking for a little side something that I can do because what I'm struggling with right now is the transportation aspect of it.
Oh God.
Right now, we don't have any type of handicapped car. I just have to transfer over into a seat and somebody has to drive me. Okay. So, and handicapped vehicles and different stuff like that is they're super expensive. And the grant process
You don't
takes
gotta tell me.
forever. So, the transportation is one thing that has hindered me from finding anything. I think if I would have had the transportation, especially in this rural area where you have to go, there's not any type of public transportation here. And public transportation is stick out your thumb and somebody might pick you up on the side of the road and everything like that, or
Yeah.
hitchhiking. So,
So you think that in this state now, it might be easier for you. I don't know how to say this because I don't know if kids are watching this. Do you think it might be easier now as an amputee to perform? That's how I'm going to say it.
Absolutely. Compared to what I was, the position, once my legs started getting bad, you couldn't touch me. Okay.
Mm.
I was in constant pain, but if you touched and everything, it shot up 10% and everything like that. So
Mm.
you couldn't touch me then and everything. So yes, answer completely 100% yes.
You can feel someone. You can let her touch you and feel you and just be intimate.
Exactly.
Misty, she's getting on my nerves.
This ain't bad.
They're being bad right now.
So, yeah.
Stop. Stop.
Like, I just want to be in the video.
She does.
A little this and then because
Go somewhere. Go get some business.
go tackle brother.
So if you were to meet a woman, say you
Yep.
go to a bar or something, or when you go on your vacation, you meet a woman, she maybe things you hit it off with her. How do you think you would explain to her, like would you want to wait a little bit, see where it goes, or maybe if one thing leads to another and pretty soon you're off doing a one night stand thing? Like, how would you explain that?
It's going to be in my mind and everything. Each situation would be different, and everything. So, I guess the way I would really have to say it is, it depends on the connection and what you're talking about and everything like that. If you see that it's going to be like one of those one night stand type situations, is that something that you want to do? Is that something that you're comfortable with doing and everything like that? So ultimately, for me and everything, I would prefer the actually finding a relationship type situation. Am I opposed to a one night stand situation? No, but that is not the preference.
That's how it was.
One night stands.
Or
1 hour.
no, no, I mean like it was. I hate to say this, but it was easier to get a one night stand than a
Absolutely.
full blown relationship.
Well, do you
Don't
want to
disagree
elaborate?
with that.
I mean, not. It wasn't with you, but
Yeah, it was before you met me.
but I was, you know,
Who were you with?
I was out there.
Who were you seeing? I'm trying to get you to say it.
a lot, not a lot of people, but it was in my day.
In your heyday?
Yeah,
You're 28 years old.
but
Well, no, I kind of say that sometimes too. I say in my whore days. I don't know if you were here for that video, but I talked about my whore days.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And everything. So, but and I like this conversation because I'm coming from it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Y'all are younger, and I am. I'm not old, but I am older. I
Your
am
experience.
more mid. I guess you would say. My midlife crisis was not getting a Porsche. My midlife crisis was getting a wheelchair. So, that's uh, sort of like how it went and everything like that. But, I come from a different perspective. What a lot of people don't realize is I was married. I have been married before.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I was married and everything. I got married when I was 27. And that was 2007. And the divorce was finalized in 2010. So, marriage lasted about 3 years, but I was with her and everything for probably about 5 years. So,
So to
but
compare that to, and have you been in a relationship since then?
yes,
So, and was
yes.
there any like comparison at all?
Well, the real relationship since then, and what I mean real relationship, I mean more than a night, more than a couple of weeks, more than like that. Any extended length of time was definitely before all my legs started going downhill. Okay, so since my legs have started going downhill and everything, during that whole couple of year process and everything, it was much shorter um, relationships, you would say. Not even relationships, much shorter meetings.
no,
Let's say
You've
it.
also
So,
lost a considerable amount of weight too.
correct, and everything. When I was younger and everything like that, I was uh, up to, well, back then the Dr. Scale had the weights and you moved the weights
Yeah,
over
that
instead
little
of
weird
digital.
thing.
Yeah, so top weight all the way over and everything got you to 500, bottom weight all the way over got you to 550. I pegged the doggone thing out as soon as I stepped on it. So it was 550 plus.
Oh,
So,
why is she so upset?
Mister, seriously, I'm putting this away. I'm putting this shit away.
They think it's fair. It's fun.
You get a ferret, he said.
we have a chocolate lab and a cat and
Oh,
everything. So there are animals that are running around the house. Just the lab is going on 11 years old. She's getting old, and she basically barks at mailmen, UPS men, FedEx men, dogs in the street, and stuff like that. People walking. Otherwise, she's just real chill. So
I remember One of my main concerns when we met was that, like, you're much smaller than I am.
You thought you were gonna, huh?
I thought I was gonna crush you. I honestly did. I still do, because I'm bigger than you. Because
Yeah, but you never did.
well, we're not only are we interabled, but I'm also fatter than you are. Are you Corky? Keep going. Keep, ask questions.
The
We're a crazy family.
hey,
And that's
that's all the way to be, brother. If you can't have a crazy, fun family and everything like that, life is just humdrum and everything like that. So, I don't mind craziness and everything. I'm that way myself. So,
so
So I thought I was going to crush you. I still do. I thought I was going to hurt you. I thought that you were like this delicate, fragile, like glass breakable being.
but I'm not.
But you're not. You're actually quite stronger than I am. So it's all these assumptions that people make.
And
absolutely.
going back to what you thought of cerebral palsy, you didn't know there was like spectrum.
I had no idea that there was actually a spectrum of cerebral palsy diagnoses. There's actually like 4 or 5 types.
I think 4.
It's like spastic, mixed. I forget the other ones.
Yeah.
But you don't have the spastic. You technically don't have CP. You have a generalized set of symptoms that
They
mimics it
diagnosed me with CP
at 2.
because I was under 2 years
Yeah. Most babies get it in birth. Like my client.
old. Yeah.
There ain't nothing up here. So I didn't realize that there was a whole spectrum. And
Yeah.
I guess the same can be said for amputees. There's a whole spectrum of different amputees. There's different like points of getting amputated. There's different reasons.
Oh, and actually, that brings up excellent point because, if you have like a single leg amputee, your other leg is going to be able to compensate for a lot of stuff. So, really, if you're able to get like a prosthesis and everything, it's just there for like a counterbalance, and your other leg is going to be doing the more work. And then if you go double amputee like I am, what they really wanted and everything was if they could have done a below the knee amputee. Okay, so if you can maintain your knee in position and they cut it off below that, prosthetics are very more readily accessible because
It's below the knee.
you still have that ability right there to control. Well, with my case, he had to go up as high as he needed to be able to get skin that was not that broken down, necrosis skin that would not have healed and would have just been more of the same stuff. So instead of leaving some below the knee where I would have still had all those issues and I wouldn't have been able to be in a prosthetic on with those issues anyway, he went up above the knee. So I have absolutely no kneecaps, no knees, no nothing. It's just the top leg bone was basically cut off, and the skin pulled around it. So above the knee amputee, they basically told me for prosthetics and everything, it would be, and I'm going to look into it and everything. It would allow me to basically stand up, maybe take a step or two, and then sit back down into my wheelchair. It would never be a mode of transportation for me. They're like, maybe if you were in your 20s and you were an Olympic athlete, a double above the knee amputee prosthetics and stuff like that would probably work. Unless you had like the money for all the new bionic stuff where it's doing all the crazy crap for you.
And that's just one thing that you as a community have to deal with. Never mind the fact that there's all these assumptions being made and like ignorance. I mean,
The stigmatism of it and
the
everything
that
like
was what I
that.
was looking for, the stigmatism.
Yes, absolutely.
And what he was saying, like the money,
Yeah.
my wheelchair, you could buy a new Cadillac.
Yeah. It's about $10,000.
So it's, and people think, oh, we just, some people think that we're trying to play the game or like trying to fuck over the government.
Right.
Ain't nobody fucking over anybody but the government.
Yeah.
Well, I think if I was a woman, well, I am.
What?
If I
If you were,
so if I were a woman that was closer in your age and I saw you across the bar and I'd be like, oh, okay, let's go over and talk to him. I know where your appearance would go in my head. I would automatically think that you were like a veteran.
and you know, it's funny you said that. I've actually had somebody and everything say, thank you for your service because
It
I wear
makes
a
me
lot
nervous.
of American flag
Mm.
stuff and I wear a lot of American because and shoot, I've got the the Captain America shield tattooed on my arm and stuff like that. I wear a lot of so I've actually had people say, thank you for your service and
I would
everything like that.
honestly think that. Like,
And I'm not a veteran because my weight and my feet,
mm,
I was flat footed and I was super heavy. I wanted to be a Marine. That was my thing. I
mm,
wanted to be a Marine, but I messed myself up by doing my eating habits all starting at a young age because literally, I was bullied and I reverted to the crutch of eating to make me feel better for being bullied at school and different stuff like that. So it just kept on compounding, which ended up destroying what I really wanted to be was an actual Marine. I wanted to go when I say Marine, I wanted to go career, not like just serve 4 years and out. I was talking career. That's what I wanted to do.
and that's what you wanted to do too, wasn't it? Or join some form of the army.
Yeah, if I was able bodied,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we might not never have met.
I would have never got out.
Why not?
I either I would either die for the country or retire.
I mean,
Right. You would have went full career. Right.
Yeah,
Like me.
full career.
I would have done the same. And my age, if you look at my age and you look at the conflicts that we've been in, that would have put me smack dab into the Desert Shield,
Yeah,
Desert
Desert Storm
Storm,
in the 90s,
and
right?
then right, all the that era and everything. I would have been in the Middle East, no doubt in my mind.
Because then 2001, September 11th happened. So you would have been right in the middle of that.
Yep.
And possibly maybe didn't come home.
Yeah, right. You never know, and everything. Exactly. That's one thing. But I guess for me and everything, a lot of it is my grandfather was in World War II. He beach landed in La Havre, France, above Normandy. He was in the army. My pawpaw, he was in the army. He was in Korea as a anti-aircraft gunner. Matter of fact, I've got one of their flags sitting right over there on that
Wow.
windowsill, right there. That's their funeral flag, and my other grandfather's funeral flag is in my the other room right over there in a display case as well. So we've got both of their funeral flags. So it's always been something that I wanted to do, and we're getting off topic. But anyway, that was just my desire and stuff like that of what I wanted to do. But I literally made that impossible for myself. So uh, it's something that I just have to live with and know that that's something that you know I could have done but didn't do, and I made those choices. So,
I just know that's immediately where my head would go. And
yep,
then if you were to tell me the situation, be like, oh God, like I'm sorry. And I would actually, at least for me, I would feel like I offended you.
right. Which, if right, and that's one. Some people might have been offended, yeah, and that's where it comes down to I think different people because uh, it's you got to know me and everything. For me, I'm one of those people who really, really don't get offended by personal stuff. I get offended by if you do something to someone I care about. I get offended by if you do something that it goes towards like my country. I get offended for external stuff instead of personal stuff. You can say whatever you want about me, or you can do whatever and think whatever, and I really don't give a flying flip. We'll use flip as the better word and everything like that. That's just my personality and everything. Take it or leave it. This is what you got. So,
I think the fear of offending, I think, keeps a lot of people from just asking questions, especially if you're about to form some kind of intimate bond with somebody. Like if you just meet and you're talking, like I danced around the questions a lot with you at first because I was scared that I would offend you. And I think you told me at some point, like, you're not going to offend me, like, because you're so used to those questions.
right, and that's what I was about to say as well. And everything you've got, coming from the handicap situation, you've got to like, if you see that it's going towards that, and you think they might be, you've got to reassure them on your part. Hey, look, this is fine, and everything. You have to take that step, or at least I feel like I have to take that step so they know it's getting to that step that has been the harder part. The actual making initial contact that is leading to a conversation of that caliber, and I think is where the bigger struggle is because I've found that it gets cut off before you even get to that level, you know?
And I wish that people would just do that more because it would clear so much up. And it's not even when you're talking, like, never mind, if you're about to be somebody with some kind of disability, you should be communicating with a potential partner regardless.
Exactly.
If y'all are about to be jumping into bed together, like, there's got to be communication there. Like, I had to tell you very early on that I have an STD. And I was scared shitless to do that, but I did because I had to, because that's for your own health. And then you told me, like, I think right away, I'm in a wheelchair. But then when we started to be intimate, there had to be an open conversation like, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. You can do this. You can do this. Not just because of your disability, because I thought it was going to hurt you, but also because of my previous sexual experiences with being hurt and being assaulted. Because I had just come from a situation, not just come, but I had just been through a situation with another man who I hadn't realized at the time had actually caused some serious trauma.
Right.
So you had to be open to that line of communication there.
Mhm.
So I think there should be communication regardless. Like, I guess for you, like, what would that communication be like? Like, yeah, you're not going to hurt this. You're not going to hurt this. or maybe like just be careful of this and that.
Right. And for me, I am basically externally healed and everything. The external parts have healed. I'm still dealing with some stuff internally. So the nubs of my legs, they're a little bit, they're still a little bit more hypersensitive because uh, you have nerves that go all the way down your legs, and that basically they can cut some, but some they literally wrapping up and just sticking back up into the nub. So you've got lots of nerves that here in a double amputee type situation. So um, there's nothing as far as that type of contact that has to be careful about, but just know and everything that the nubs are more of a sensitive area than it is. But as they get older, as my amputees get older and everything, my nubs have toughened up more. That will go down, so it does settle down. But right now, it's just sort of in its flared state of, hey, this is not how it was originally meant to be. Something has gone wrong. So they're still on its adjustment phase. So the only thing I would have to say is we just have to be a little bit more cautious because they are more sensitive, but nothing externally is you have to tiptoe around.
And that takes and just saying that takes all of what, 30 seconds?
Exactly.
It's not a big deal. And I hate that in disability community. Like, people basically assume you're dead from the waist down. You don't want anything like that, when that's the complete opposite sometimes. I mean,
True.
especially with the more severe, I think, the disability. Like, we follow Wheelchair Rapunzel on Instagram, and she's an influencer. She has a form of muscular dystrophy, I think, and people give her so much shit about like more like risque pictures that she posts, and like she's naked and stuff, but they're all like professional photos, and she's so pretty and she's gorgeous, and people give her so much shit about it. She's a
Right.
grown woman. She's a grown adult like the rest of us, like any other disabled person who's got wants and desires.
And Shane.
And Shane, too, he's another one who's got a form of muscular dystrophy, and him and his wife, Squirmy and Grubs. He has a form of muscular dystrophy. He and his wife are on YouTube. We've been watching them for a while, and they get so much shit about that too. People assume that she like didn't marry him at all, and if she did, it was because of the money. First of all, what money? Like,
Right.
the government doesn't. Y'all aren't like rolling in money. I mean,
I'm
we're not rolling in money.
I'm making less now than I was and everything coming out of high school, so it's definitely not a money type situation and everything, because I have been working and gotten up to making decent amount of money and everything like that for a while and everything before this happened. So, it definitely, if you wanted more for the money, you would have needed to talk with me several years ago instead of now. But yeah, I totally get it. Totally agree. I always like to say, they cut off my legs. They didn't cut off anything else.
Exactly. That's like we should get that tattooed on you.
Right.
Like,
only my legs were cut off.
Like, get that tattooed right at your waistline. Like, those were just cut off. Ain't nothing else was cut off. Like, the only thing I think I would just, for you, coming from somebody who used to do this, I think the one thing for you that I would want you to be careful about is if you're going to peruse certain websites. I talked about a certain website on my live. If you're going to peruse those kinds of websites, they tend to be really gross and it's just some really nasty people on there who might, I don't know how to say this. There's like don't ask me why I know this, but there's a certain, I think, subset of fetishes when it comes to people who are amputees, and
Sure.
sometimes it doesn't breed the best intentions.
Right.
Like, I would want somebody to be with you for you. Like coming like from your friend, I would want somebody to be with you for you. You know, not just because of what not just because of what you can provide them in the form of uh, fetish fulfillment, I guess.
Right.
Say.
And I totally agree and everything like that. But I also think a lot of that, it comes down to the individual person as well as geography, because you know, I haven't really done much looking and everything as far as like online around here, but I just know this area, and you know, this area is not. I could only imagine the what is would be lurking. So I don't even sort of entertain that route. I know that is a route that is more and more common nowadays and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
now living in the digital age.
exactly, and so I am. I guess I old enough to where that just doesn't have quite the appeal to me. I'm still more of, you know, you meet somebody but out and about through a friend. You meet somebody because you went to this place, a bar, or this place, you know,
Yeah.
different stuff like that. So the digital aspect of it has not really played into my factor and everything, because you know, thankfully I'm old enough to where, you know, yes, it's nice to have. It's something that I would like to have, but if
You
I
prefer the in
can't find
person.
right, if I can't find somebody and anything like that, you know, I'm gonna keep on trucking on. I'm gonna keep on being me and everything like that. Love to find somebody to come along that journey as well. But if I didn't, I'm still gonna keep on going on. You know, so that's just where I'm at in this stage of life. You know.
And that makes me feel better that you said that, just because me knowing me and perusing shit like that, like that's how I got hurt. That's how I got taken advantage of, I guess because of my age, and I was so much younger than all the men on there, and I guess they saw vulnerability.
Right.
And I don't know if somebody would look at you and your condition and automatically think vulnerability, but also I hope they see this and know that you're packing heat, basically.
Right. You know, too
I
true.
mean, we can't do
Too
that.
true.
So
Absolutely, completely understand everything, and what people don't realize, and I guess that's what has sort of helped shape where I'm at now with this like subject, because, like I told you, I was married. Well, that marriage did end, and there are a couple of reasons why it ended. First off, she cheated with her ex-boyfriend and everything. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to say. But also, what people don't realize is guys can be abused too,
oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
she was not physically abusive, she was emotionally and verbally abusive. Okay. uh, she got, and this all really surfaced after we had actually gotten married, not before we were married, but after we had gotten married. She got to where she actually felt better about herself the more she could tear me down. Okay?
Sometimes you really don't know who someone is until you're married, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
Something
Absolutely.
happens after marriage, not always, but sometimes after marriage, something changes.
It can and everything, but then you also like my parents. They've been married 44 years. Have they had complete smooth sailing? No, but they're still married at 44 years and everything like that because they communicate and they just have to work it out and stuff like that. But because marriage is a not just a feeling, marriage is a commitment and you work on it and everything.
Exactly.
You have to do this and do that. It's a constant working, not just that. But in my situation when I was and everything like that, it had gotten to where she was just in. I physically, I could have knocked the ever living snot out of her when she was doing that stuff to me and everything, when she was trying to tear me down, when she was doing the emotional and attacks and verbal attacks, I could have went over there and just literally knocked the snot out of her, but that's not who I am. I
Yeah.
was physically, she couldn't do anything physically that I would have, tolerated whatsoever, but I didn't go over there and just knock her in the face or whatever because that's not who I am.
No.
So I put up with stuff like that for a lot longer than what I really should have. And looking back, I should have listened to people who were trying to give me subtle warnings but didn't want to hurt my feelings and everything before I actually got married. There were signs that I can see now that I could not see then because I was in love.
No, we were blinders when you're first meeting somebody.
Of course.
You got
So,
rose-colored glasses on.
And remember I told you about the people always look at me like
With pity.
like a
Yep.
woman sex,
Yeah.
like almost predatory.
Predatory. Yeah.
I wonder if that's common in for other wheelchair people.
Looking at you.
Like because people have they think that I'm like if I see a girl, they can automatically think, oh, he wants to fuck her. Like they always did that to me.
Why?
I don't know. Remember my Abe
Yeah.
when they sexualized me?
Oh, you mean like hypersexualization of young.
Yeah.
You're talking about like hypersexualization of children who are.
But
That happens with a lot of children in general
I wonder if they do that to other adults
in
too.
wheelchairs.
Because, like they think, oh, he does it again.
They're fetishizing it, I think, is you fetishizing being in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Putting it in a place where this is hard. I know what you're saying, but it's hard to explain.
People think I'm out just it's all for me.
I know what you're talking about. When you were a kid, you were sexualized because you're down here in a wheelchair and okay, you're your eye level with one of your teacher's butts or something.
Yeah, something.
Inevitably, your eye might graze over there. So, teacher would have said to you, "Oh, he's an ass man," when you were like a literal 8-year-old.
Yeah, and now that's why I'm careful with kids around because I don't want the parents to think like, what is he doing around my kid?
That's a good point.
Right.
It's always in the back of my mind.
So, thinking that I see what you're saying. Thinking that it's kind of like a Ted Bundy situation, pretending that you're hurt or disabled in some way to try and get someone to come help you.
You're playing the pity card, or the not really pity card. I should say the vulnerability and everything type
Right.
Like people
situation.
think we don't get
So they're going to look to the first
gonna-
piece of ass they see.
yeah, like, oh, he's desperate, so he's looking at other
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
other guys. Yeah,
That makes sense.
so
Which isn't the case. I mean,
no,
most of the time we're out together, and I think people can safely make the assumption that we're in the bed often. I mean, unless I'm wearing my scrubs,
yeah,
then people assume that I'm your nurse. So it's basically one way or another with us. It's either on this side of the spectrum or it's this side. Because if I'm in my scrubs, if I'm just too lazy to get changed and we go to the grocery store, yeah, people will assume that I'm your nurse. That's another thing. That
Yeah.
if you do find yourself in a romantic relationship, you might get the assumptions of, oh, she's my age, she's my nurse and all that. That's going to happen a lot.
Right. And everything. And of course, I'm right in that age to where
I was gonna take my pill real quick.
you can go ahead.
now what I was just saying is I'm right in that age to where, I'm not like in, how do I want to put this? Usually the dating scene, usually the looking for someone thing is someone who is a lot younger in age than myself. Okay. Usually by the time you get to my age, you are established. You are like married, so the dating scene at my age is completely different than the dating scene like when I was younger. So I think that's one thing that has a lot to do with it. I think there, not that there's a lack of people looking for a relationship at my age. I think those people at my age are not actively out there looking. I think they are more reserved in their house because they have established themselves with jobs. They've established themselves. They might even have kids that they have to take care of, but they're no longer either married or they're widowed, etc. So the dating scene for my age is different than let's say the dating scene from when I was younger. I think when I was younger, you had more people actively out there looking for that type of situation to where now the people who are looking are probably in their house getting supper done and then gonna go to bed because they got to get up and go to work the next day. They're not out at 12, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and everything like that. So I think it brings a whole nother level to the situation depending on your age and going along with the handicap on top of it, if that makes sense. It
No, that
plays
makes sense.
in effect. It plays into effect to not only the handicap situation, but my age situation because you know, handicapped at 20 something and everything is different than handicapped at 40 something, you know?
Yeah, because you're at a different stage in your life.
Yes.
You're more mature.
And we're kind of like that. Like, we come home.
You don't really want to go out. I mean,
No, like we have like a social,
our social battery tends to stop at a certain point.
especially being in the wheelchair. People walk in front of you.
Yeah, we both get kind of aggravated at some point. That's another thing. Just the people that walk the fuck in front of you when you're in the grocery store when all you need is the goddamn Cheerios and some old bitch is on her phone on speaker on blast. Which one did you want, Tim? Did you want the golden Cheerios or the honey nut Cheerios? If you would just move, I could get my damn Cheerios. Like, and it's aggravating. I remember when I was first getting certified for home health, they told us that right now the generation that's needing care right now is the baby boomers. I know you're not a baby boomer. No.
I'm Gen X. Right.
You're Gen X. So
yeah.
So you're not baby boomer yet, but we were told the baby boomers are the ones that need care right now.
My parents are baby boomers.
Yeah, so they're probably needing some level of care. Like that's the generation that's sunbathed out in the sun, putting cooking oil on themselves with those mirror things. I don't know what you call them. Like a lot of them are getting melanomas, and they smoked because at the time that was the thing, that was the fad, smoking.
Sure.
So those are the people that need care right now. But they also told us, now listen, you might walk into that house at some point to 60-year-old Joe, whatever, you might open his door and he just might be jerking off because that's his house and he can do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to close the door, you're going to wait, then you can go in. So we were taught, be respectful, be mature about it, and realize that a lot of these people, they might be homebound or wheelchair bound, but they're not dead,
Exactly. Sure.
Your grandfather was 91 when he died, and we found a shitload of porn on his computer.
The first thing that came up, open the laptop, turn it on, and bam,
just ass and titties, And I remember your dad was sitting right next to me. He was like, "Oh, don't look." And of course I looked. What? Oh. And it was all full of viruses. I mean, the shit, it was deceased. It was like pop-ups. It wasn't even an actual porn site. It was just pop-ups. I'm sure he was enjoying it, but
he is a call me and like, how do I take care of
I mean, he was 90. He wasn't deceased yet.
every 6 months he used to get a new laptop
because the other one would be chock full of viruses because he was probably just clicking on whatever he thought looked cool
with no antivirus protection.
Yeah. When my grandfather died, my mom found a book because he was a big hoarder, and in his office she found a book on geriatric sex and a cock ring. He was 83. I mean, he had a girlfriend. He was getting down occasionally.
I heard today that Viagra reduces the chance of getting dementia.
Oh,
there you go.
I don't think we have that problem.
No, I'm just saying. I saw it on Facebook and we're talking about old people, so there you go.
I remember one of the nurses when I was getting certified, she told me one time you might have a little 80-year-old lady named Myrtle who wants to buy a vibrator. So what you're going to do is you're going to take her down to Hollywood, whatever it's called, and you're going to help her buy herself a vibrator. Okay. That never happened to me, but I mean,
that's in the job description.
Technically, I mean, I never had that. I mean, I actually did I keep mostly I took care of men. So I've seen a lot of 60-year-old penis in my day. And none of them wanted nothing to do with that. They were done. I had a 9, I think he was about in his 80s. He was a World War II veteran. He was actually a double amputee. I remember this because he told me to my face that I was fat, but he wasn't with it. He wasn't with it at this point. And he was nice. He was sweet as can be. He would roll out to the front door and wave bye to me every time I would leave. But he told me to my face that I was fat because because I made him his blueberry oatmeal the way he likes it. And he wanted to know, oh, should I eat first, then do my exercise? And I said, yes, because you want to have something to burn off. You gotta, something about the weight came up and he's like, well, you're overweight. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I couldn't even be mad about it because he was just not with it. He was sweet as pie, and he was nice. He was out there.
I appreciate you watching, Allie.
Yeah, I hope nobody's kids are around because I just mentioned 9-year-old ladies and vibrators.
But we want to teach our kids
Yes.
that sex is normal. Everyone has a sex
Most people.
drive. If you're not asexual.
Yeah, because some people just don't.
And this is a good thing. You're not gonna be like a 10-year-old on that spot saying, "Oh, I bet you'll get laid."
Oh, because you were?
No, I never did that.
Really?
I never did that.
I'm sure you were telling people to suck your 10-year-old dick.
No, I actually did have a mic.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
My dad would have let me have a mic. So.
Probably for that reason.
Probably.
Yeah, you know what you would have said. Suck my dick! Because there's home video of him like crawling around on the floor with his cousin. Remember that game Perfection where you turn the timer and then you put the little shapes in the slots before it goes off and then it pops up? They're playing that game and he's rolling around the floor going, God damn it, that's bullshit. And he would have been like 8. Yeah, my mom would have slapped me if I cursed at her. Everyone in your family just thought it was funny.
Yeah. But I think we should do another one of this.
Yeah, see, I told you this would be fun.
We need to normalize sex lives and handicap.
There's people's sex lives in general too.
Yeah, this is fucking normal. Everyone.
It's not like we're going to be out here, showing explicit things to our child, but
no.
Our child is going to know what's between their legs. It's going to be either a penis or a vagina, unlike me, who was calling it a front butt, at least until I was 12 years old.
Well, if you're not non-binary.
True.
Yeah.
But what's going to be in there? It's either a penis or a vagina. It's not going to be a wiener in our house. That's the absolute thing.
And not a hot Ralph.
Hot Ralph. You're going to have to explain that.
My brother, every time I had to go to the bathroom, my brother had to take me. So every time I had to go to the bathroom, I yell, Hot Ralph, Hot Ralph.
Why? Because that was just easier than saying, yo, I have to pee?
Yeah.
And I think that's a key thing in everything. It's all about education and all about communication and talking with people, because it's the only way to break down the stigmatisms and stuff like that. And different people are looking at it different ways. Not everybody is out there trying to just do one night stands, which some are and everything, and that's fine.
But you
But
gotta
then
protect
you're
yourself.
also some that want a relationship.
Yeah. If you're gonna be doing one night stands, you gotta protect yourself. I didn't. That's why I have a disease. It's not gonna kill me, but I'm gonna have it for the rest of my life.
It's okay to have one night stand.
It's okay to have one night stands, but you gotta protect yourself. It's miraculous that I didn't end up pregnant. Although consequently, that's probably because I can't.
But I just want to say I'm very grateful for you to come on here and share those personal stories.
Yeah, you didn't want to do this. I had to beg you for weeks to do this.
I didn't want to overstep.
Right.
Like, just like what we talked about. I didn't want to be
Sure, sure, and I appreciate that. And oh yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Let's do another one because, like I was saying earlier, and everything like that. It's um, I don't get offended, me personally, and everything. I get offended when somebody attacks, like, my family or attacks something that I care about and stuff like that. So, I don't have that little boundary and stuff like that. So I'm very open and everything. I am open, and I think it's good to bring awareness about different situations. So, if we want to do another one and everything like that, I'm still game for another
I'm game.
chat.
Yeah, well,
I'm game.
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to take a phone call, but
You got
I
to do what you got to do, brother.
got some good news, and
What you do?
yeah,
And that the babies were out here acting fools, like they don't got no home training. They never do this when we do a live. Normally they're asleep, and that's why we do them when we do them, because they're asleep by then. They decided to wake up and
I
just
told you,
unleash hell.
7 o'clock to wake up.
Yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have just put them back, but like, it's your jackets.
Yeah,
He's eating, so I'm just gonna have to catch her and put her back. When I say catch, I do mean catch.
so I'm pretty sure I might be in good standards for one of my interviews in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
My boss, the guy that gonna interview me, got the license for the work group.
Oh.
He worked for the work group for a little bit.
Right.
And got the license
Oh.
for the work group.
Okay.
So he knows all about it. And he called my boss, and my boss said, I would love to keep him, but he is trying to get another position in there.
We need money, is what the fuck we need.
Yeah, we need money.
Don't say that, though, but
I feel real good about this one.
Good deal.
This was fun, though. I like this one. I told you it'd be fun.
Yeah, I had fun.
See, I wasn't out here being perverted about it. You thought I was just gonna be like, so what's it like getting your dick sucked? Like, you really thought I was just gonna be you really thought I was just gonna be out here like
No, I want Jill to be comfortable, and he was.
Sure, absolutely, brother.
Yeah, I didn't want to overstep, but they all turned out good.
Well, I'm gonna
Mm,
wrangle baby girl, and then we're gonna watch the new South Park episode.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, nah, I'm gonna go grab me a bite to eat and everything like that, and we'll do another episode. Y'all just let me know.
Yay!
Love you, brother.
Love you, brother.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
I'm sure more people will watch.
Yeah.
Bye.
So, bye.
All right, guys. Y'all take it easy.